Hello, and thank you for tuning into the first official video of Sports Talk with JWock. Instead of just talking about the NBA, we are going to be also talking about the NFL. We're going to be talking about college basketball, maybe high school sports at times. We're also going to be talking about potentially some soccer. But, as you know, this is another episode, and this is another intro. So make sure to stay tuned. Once again, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sports Talk with JWock. And let me know if you guys think this is the right name for this podcast. Obviously, instead of NBA Talk with JWock, it's now Sports Talk with JWock. But today we're going to be talking about football. Let's talk about the NFL as Week 1 has officially ended. And we are going to go into Week 2 as of tomorrow, which I'm recording this on Wednesday. So yeah, tomorrow will be the start of Week 2 as we will see the Buffalo Bills go against the Miami Dolphins in the Thursday night football game. But before that, let's talk about a little bit of Week 1 and let's zero in on how the rookie quarterbacks did, the three rookie quarterbacks did in their starting debuts for Week 1. So if you don't know, the three quarterbacks that started in Week 1 for the rookies were Jayden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and Bo Nix. Now, Jayden Daniels, if you don't know, plays for the Washington Commanders, and he had, honestly, the best debut out of all the rookie quarterbacks, in my opinion. He threw 18 for 24 on 188 passing yards. He did take 2 sacks, but the big thing that got a lot of people interested was that he had 88 rushing yards, and let me check 100% real quick with how he did, if he scored any touchdowns with that. And he did actually have 2 touchdowns with rushing. So Jayden Daniels had, honestly, a pretty solid outing. The Commanders overall did not come out on top. They ended up losing 20-37 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They ended up playing at Tampa Bay. Jayden Daniels is that quarterback that we kind of saw going into the draft. He's going to be that guy who's going to be very versatile. He's going to be able to be the guy that's going to be able to sling the ball, but he's also going to be able to run on the ground with his feet, with his speed. He does have a great arm. He's got great throwing power. I think the biggest concern for me is like his body. Like, he's a very skinny build of a quarterback, and that could be dangerous, especially since he took 2 sacks this last week. I mean, if he keeps on taking sacks throughout the season, that could put a big old wear and tear on his body, and that could cause some issues going on into the future. So Jayden Daniels, I think if he wants to be successful, he needs to be able to bulk up a little bit, which I don't think is going to be a problem. I think with the NFL training programs and stuff, and just with how they work with that, I think he's going to be just fine, and I think he's going to be able to bulk up. But overall, like, if I were to give Jayden Daniels a grade based off of his performance, I would give it like a B-. Like, he didn't get the job done to get the win, but it's against a really good team in Tampa Bay. And now they go into next week. They go and they play at Washington against the New York Giants, a much worse opponent, if you want to say. The Giants have a good defensive line, but I think Jayden Daniels, if he's going to be a good quarterback, he's going to have to go against players or defenses like that. So I think Jayden Daniels had a very solid debut, and I think he had the best out of all of them. But yeah, let's move on to the next quarterback who had their debut, the rookie quarterback, and that was Caleb Williams for the Chicago Bears. He went 14 of 20. He went 14 of 29 for passing with 93 passing yards. He also took 2 sacks, just like Jayden Daniels. He was kind of the guy that they didn't really do much. The Bears offense in general just didn't really do much at all. I mean, they resulted in having 3 total field goals, which is all right, I guess. But it's like, you're going to have to score touchdowns at some point, whether that's in the air or on the ground. It's not necessarily Caleb Williams' fault, and I don't think there's any panic. And by the way, there's like no panic between these rookie quarterbacks. It's 1 week, and I think they all like had flashes of good things, but they've also had, a little bit of a concern, but that's, they're rookies. They're all going to make mistakes. It just happens. And you're not going to have a player like you're not going to have rookies like CJ Stroud every single year. And that's what we're kind of seeing. But yeah, the Chicago Bears play at Houston next week, which is going to be a tough week for them and for Caleb Williams in general, because that's a good Texans defense, and that's just a good Texans team in general. Caleb Williams, I did put, was the only player to play at home week 1. They did play the Tennessee Titans, and they did come out on top. Thankfully, their special teams and defense bailed them out, but overall, I think Caleb Williams is going to be fine, and that offense, they look stacked. They look like they have a lot of good players on that team, playmakers that are going to be built around Caleb Williams, and overall, I think that he's going to be all right. And then the last rookie quarterback that debuted week 1 was Denver Broncos quarterback Bo Nix. He went 26 for 42 with 138 passing yards. He was the only rookie quarterback with interceptions. He had 2 interceptions, which in my opinion could have had probably like 4 or 5, which is a bit of a concern. And he also took 2 sacks. So every rookie quarterback took 2 sacks in week 1. They do end up playing at home in Denver against the Pittsburgh Steelers week 2. Could it be the Russ reunion? The, Russell Wilson versus Bo Nix? Who knows? I've heard there's a lot of signs pointing towards Justin Fields starting, but who knows how that's going to be when it comes Sunday. But Bo Nix was the one that looked rattled the most. That was a game I really watched because obviously I'm a Broncos fan. I saw a lot of good things maybe not a lot of good things, but I saw good things from Bo Nix. But I also saw a lot of things that were a little concerning and some bads. Obviously the 2 interceptions are not good. Could have had 4 or 5. It just felt like he was telegraphing his passes. It just felt like he wasn't looking at all his reads. He was just looking at one. I mean, the first interception he threw to Cortland Sutton, and it ended up being an interception on the 1-yard line. He definitely telegraphed that pass the whole time. You could definitely tell that's not how Bo Nix normally plays. I mean, at Oregon, he never played like that. And even in the preseason, he never played like that. So I kind of got to give Bo Nix the benefit of the doubt. I mean, he played in Seattle, which they have a great defensive team with a great defensive coach. Also, they're just playing in Seattle, which is one of the loudest stadiums, and that's a very hard place to play in, especially as a rookie and your debut. Like, that is just a nightmare, to be honest with you. So we got to give Bo Nix some credit for being able to go out there and play. And what I really liked about him was the last drive, he ended up getting a rushing touchdown for himself. He led the offense down the field to get that touchdown to try and keep the team in the game, which actually brought them to only 6 points behind Seattle. Unfortunately, there were some penalties that led the Seahawks to end up winning that game. Or they probably would have won in general, but it would have given the Broncos another chance to go down and drive and try to win the game. But Bo Nix ended off strong, and that's what I like to see. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And Bo Nix ended up finishing with a rushing touchdown. He looked very solid in that final drive, but in the rest of the game, he looked very rattled. So who knows what we're going to see from him come week 2. But overall, for the rookie quarterbacks, oh, by the way, I didn't give grades for Caleb Williams and Bo Nix. So Caleb Williams, I'm probably going to give like a C+, maybe. Like, he was all right. Like, didn't do much at all. And then Bo Nix, I'm going to give like a C-. I think it was just overall just not a great day or a great week for the rookie quarterbacks, other than maybe Jaden Daniels. But I think they're going to be all right. And once again, as fans, we got to remember they're rookies. They're still trying to figure out the league. Okay, it happens. They got to let the game slow down to them. But overall, let me know what you guys think and how you thought the rookie quarterbacks did in week 1. And we're on to the final topic, and we're going to be kind of just doing my picks for the week 2 of the NFL season and who I think is going to win. It's kind of something I want to start doing for the whole year so I can kind of keep track of my record and see how well I predicted each team to win. in this season, because I think it's fun and a lot of people do it, and I thought it was a good idea, so we're going to try it out. So this might be a fast topic, but we're just going to kind of rapidly go through the matchups this week, and I'm just going to give my prediction on who I think will win. So the first game we have tomorrow, because I am recording this on Wednesday, September 11th. So obviously the Bills and the Dolphins play on Thursday night, and honestly, I'm going to say the Miami Dolphins are going to win this game. They're in Miami. I think this is going to be a good game, but I think overall Miami's going to win this game. Then we got the 49ers and Vikings. I'm going to give this to the 49ers. I don't think the Vikings are going to be able to get lucky and play against... I mean, they got lucky and played against the Giants week 1, so now they're playing a real team, a contending team in the 49ers. Then we have the Seahawks and Patriots. I'm going to give this one to Seattle. Seattle's got a really good defense, and I think Seattle's offense is going to start to figure that out come week 2. Then we got the Giants and Commanders. I'm going to give this one to the Commanders. I think the Giants are just going to continue to struggle. I could see them winning that game because I could see the Commanders also struggling, but I'm going to give it to the Commanders. Then we have the Chargers-Panthers. I'm going to give this one to the Chargers. We have the Saints and Cowboys. The Cowboys are probably and most likely going to win that game. Then we have the Colts and the Packers. I'm going to give this game to the Colts, and the only reason why is because Jordan Love's injury is really concerning for the Packers. And the Colts looked good also. Like, they looked really good against the Texans. So that's maybe the Jordan Love injury isn't the only reason. Like, the Colts are a good team. So I'm going to pick the Colts over the Packers. Then we got the Browns and Jaguars at Jacksonville. Give me the Jaguars. I mean, I know the Browns are a good team. Like, they could be a good team on paper. But the Jaguars, like, I think they're going to come out and win this game. Then we have the Jets and the Titans. I'm going to give this one to the Jets. I know the Jets obviously had a disappointing loss to the 49ers week 1 on Monday night. But I think they're going to come out and win this week. Then we have the Buccaneers and the Lions. It's at Detroit. I'm going to give it to the Detroit Lions. Then we have the Raiders and the Ravens. This isn't even going to be a close game. I feel like the Ravens are going to destroy the Raiders. And then we will have the Rams and the Cardinals. I'm going to give this game... okay. Puka Nacua has some injury concerns. It's at Arizona. I feel like Marvin Harrison is going to get a lot more targets this game. This is going to be a surprise to some of you, and I feel like I could very well get this wrong, but I'm going to pick the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals could win this game. They were hanging in there with the Bills, so I think the Cardinals are going to win that game. Then we got the Chiefs-Bengals in Kansas City. Give me the Chiefs on that one. We got the Steelers-Broncos in Denver. This one's hard because I like the bias part of me wants to say Denver, but I also feel like that Steelers defense is going to rip us up. But like the Steelers didn't even score a touchdown last week. So I don't know. Like I really don't know who's going to win this game. I'm going to give it to the Steelers in week 2 because I just like it hurts me to say this, by the way, but like I don't know. I just feel like the Steelers are probably going to win. I feel like the offense is still going to have struggles. But who knows? Like that could be one of the closer games this week or one of the bigger blowouts because I'm a Broncos fan. Probably will end up happening. Then we got the Bears and the Texans in Houston. I'm picking the Texans. And then the final game on Monday night, we got the Eagles and the Falcons. It's in Philadelphia. I'm going to pick the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Falcons have a bright future, but I also feel like Kirk Cousins, isn't the most, not that I feel like, I know he's not the most mobile quarterback. It's a dynamic offense, but I just feel like that Eagles team is going to just beat them. That's not a great explanation, but that's just what I think. But yeah, those are my picks on week 2 of the NFL. I don't know if I'm going to be doing this all the time on every podcast, just on my picks. I might just post it on Instagram and just post who I think is going to win. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you disagree with some of the games that I picked. But overall, that's going to be the end of this episode. This was my first ever NFL related / football related episode. So let me know how I did. I'm going to get better over time, just being able to talk about it. I'm just so used to talking about the NBA, so this is a little weird, but it's exciting. It's exciting to say the least, and I hope you guys enjoy me talking about multiple sports as well. Let me know what you guys think I should talk about next episode. I was thinking about talking about why transferring in high school could be a weak move and why you shouldn't transfer, but let me know if I should do a different topic. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Sports Talk with JWock. I'm going to have to get used to saying that. But yeah, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Check me out on all social media platforms that I currently have, which is Instagram, which is NBA Talk with _JWock3. Check me out on TikTok, which is NBA Talk with JWock. And check me out on Spotify, which is NBA Talk with JWock. It's been real. I'm Jonah Walkenfoos. God bless. Have a great week.